Some new books have arrived in the middle school, high school library, and these books in this video are appropriate for 8th graders and above. First is The Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. 11 years ago, King Saren ordered raids across the land of Orisha to get rid of the Magi, anyone with magical powers. Now Zili, discovering she also has magic in her blood, is out to avenge her mother's death. Chosen by the gods to bring magic back to the land, Zili and her two companions, Brother Zane and Amari, Princess of Orisha, must collect 3 sacred objects as they make their way across the kingdom. They must arrive at the Holy Temple by the solstice, but of course the king's army is in hot pursuit. Drawing on West African mythology, Adeyemi has created an epic fantasy that is part Hunger Games, invading the evil elements of society, and part Harry Potter with its magic. All American Boys by Jason Reynolds and Brendan Keeley. All Rashad wanted from the corner store was to buy a bag of chips. But a fist-happy cop mistook Rashad as a shoplifter, and before he knew it, Rashad was on the floor of the store being punched repeatedly by the cop, Paul Galuzzo. There was a witness, basketball player Quinn, who can't believe Paul, who has raised him since his father died in Afghanistan, would be guilty. There's also a video camera, and soon the beating is all over the news, claiming prejudice and racial brutality. Told from the perspectives of both boys, we have another novel ripped from today's headlines. Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is the conclusion to the Illuminae Files trilogy. The year is 2575. In Book 1, Illuminae, Katie and Ezra's planet, Corenza, is invaded by Baytek and they must escape on a fleeing spaceship, the Hypatia. In Gemina, the second book, Hannah and Nick must defend their space station, the Heimdall, from a new Baytek assault. Now in the conclusion to this epic sci-fi thriller, all 4 are crammed on another ship with 2,000 refugees. Their only hope is to return to the original planet, Corenza. But what will they find there? A final battle awaits. These novels are told in a series of hacked documents, including emails, interviews, instant messages, medical reports, military files, and more. If you are a Maze Runner fan or a Legends series fan, this series may be for you. The War Outside by Monica Hesse. Haruko, daughter of Japanese immigrants, lived in Colorado. Margit lived with her German-born parents on a farm in Iowa. Now, in 1940, both live in the Texas Crystal City internment camp. Haruko worries about her American brother fighting overseas and her father, who allegedly shared military secrets. Margit is embarrassed by her father, who seems to embrace the Nazi ideology. The girls find comfort in their growing friendship, but in a government prison, can they really trust each other? Time Bomb by Joelle Charbonnet. 6 teens, so different from each other, are trapped in the school after a bomb goes off. In order to get out alive, they must trust one another and work together. But can they? Secrets are revealed, temporary alliances are formed, but distrust and paranoia work against the teens as the situation becomes ever more dangerous. This psychological thriller will keep you turning pages to the very end and the revelation of the bomber's identity. Wild Card by Marie Lu is the sequel to Warcross, in which teenager Emika Chen hacked her way into the Warcross championships and got involved in a sinister plot involving the video game's creator, Hideo. Now that Emika knows Hideo's plans to eliminate crime by taking away the free will of the people, there's a price on her head. Her best chance of survival means forming a tenuous partnership with Hideo's long-lost brother Zero and his band of blackcoats. But his protection comes with strings attached. Betrayed by all, how far will Emika go to right the wrongs? Bridge of Clay by Mark Zusick. You may know him as the author of The Book Thief, but this is a totally different story. Matthew, the oldest of the 5 Dunbar brothers, narrates this Australian family saga that spans 3 generations. The boys live alone, raising themselves without rules. Their mother is dead, their father has fled. But they do have a menagerie of animals, including Achilles the mule. They are surprised one day to find that the murderer has paid a visit to their home. But who is he, and who has he murdered? That secret and many others of this family will be revealed at just the right time. As for the bridge, the 4th Dunbar brother, Clay, is going to build it. Why? Another secret to be revealed. The Case of the Missing Men, a Hobtown Mystery by Chris Burton. This book has a retro look to it. It looks like the Nancy Drew books and Hardy Boys mysteries that I used to read when I was a kid. A man has gone missing. He was probably murdered, but the Teen Detective Club of Hobtown, Nova Scotia is on the case. With each new clue, the mystery deepens and becomes more threatening. There are increasingly disturbing signs that the adults running the school and community are dangerous and deranged. Beware, this graphic novel could give you nightmares. Dear Evan Hansen by Vale Emmich. Suffering from severe anxiety, Evan Hansen writes daily encouraging letters to himself. One letter falls into the hands of loner Connor Murphy at school. When Connor dies 3 days later, his parents seek out Evan to return the letter. This is when Evan lies, telling the Murphys that he was Connor's secret best friend. He is accepted and embraced by these grieving parents who want to know everything about their son, causing Evan to take on a new persona. But when guilt comes crashing down on Evan, he needs to make a decision. Will he keep telling the lies, or will he tell the truth? Read the book before seeing the stage show that is coming to Cleveland Playhouse in June. Dry by Neil and Jared Schusterman. Southern California has been experiencing drought for years. Water has been rationed, but very few are prepared when the governors of Arizona and Nevada divert the Colorado River, causing the tap out for the millions in Southern California. People will do anything to get their hands on water after a run on the stores creates empty shelves. 16-year-old Alyssa and her brother, 10-year-old Garrett, separated from their parents, start on a harrowing journey with neighbor Kelton, whose family actually did prepare for such a crisis. But when the neighborhood turns against Kelton's family and his older missing brother comes home at an inopportune time, Alyssa, Garrett, and Kelton head for the hills and the family bug out. With people literally dying of thirst, it is a truly disastrous catastrophe, and when roadblocks are thrown in their way, the 3 kids have to rely on their own ingenuity and Kelton's survivalist skills. And finally, I was able to get 48 new teen novels donated from an organization called Never Count It Out. These novels all contain diverse characters, those from different cultures or ethnicities, some dealing with gender identity or mental health issues, and others presenting different perspectives on life. There are too many for a book talk video, so be sure to stop in and browse this display in the library. Hopefully you've heard something that will interest you, and you can get to the library to check out some of these books.